Greetings, Basic Brian here, and now I am going to do a beer review and go over some neat bits in the rest of my N.E.S. Game manuals and instruction booklets, whatever you want to call it. Today the beer I'm going to have is Brecken Hefeweizen from State of Brewing and Aldi. Nice label there. I like the design. And Wisconsin brewed. And Hefeweizen is one of my favorite, or one of the most accessible, good kind of style beers. I think it's mostly German, but you can make the style. Pour in this bad boy. It's very grainy, but it has a really good flavor. I don't know what makes it have that, but it's different. This smells pretty good. Doesn't really stink. It just kind of smells like beer, so that's nice. Not like stinky beer, not like macro brews or like Heineken, I guess, which even kind of tastes stinky. All right. A little head still, not too much. And we got Super Mario Brothers 3 playing behind me, the intro screen at least. And the first game I'm going to talk about is Marble Madness, published by Milton Bradley, ported by Rare, based on an arcade game. And one thing about it is you can select different modes, 90 degrees or 45 degrees. Which is pretty confusing, and for 45 degrees you hold the controller diagonally, I guess, according to the manual, to play it properly. So it's better to just play 90 degrees just to have a straightforward kind of way to roll your marble, and you can hit the A button for a turbocharge or give more weight while you're on an isometric I guess race course, obstacle course with your marble. And elevation and isometric, it's hard to play and you're going against time and you can fall off the edge, but they just bring your marble back and you basically just lose time and more likely to get a game over if you fall. And they call the Hall of Fame high rollers, which is a pretty cute, nice way to describe it. And the next game I'm going to talk about is another Rare developed game. I think it was even published by Nintendo. This is Pinbot, that I have the manual for, and it features robot-like speech. And you can hit the start and select buttons to bump the pinball machine, which is unique and something that hardcore pinball players are familiar with. And if you watch Richard Linklater movies, you see the players actually bumping with their body to make the ball not fall. So, but I don't usually pay attention to that. So, you need two controllers to pause. One of the finest pinball machines to video is a blurb that was written in the instruction manual. And next I'll move on to Spy Hunter, where you gotta avoid tire slashers, torpedoes, bomb dropping, helicopters, standing in your way of the most diabolical collection of enemy agents ever to hit a video screen. No need to check ammo, you've got more than enough. And take the challenge, be Spy Hunter. So Spy Hunter is a port of an arcade game, and you're just basically going really fast, vertically, avoiding everything, avoiding enemies. You can shoot, and you can switch vehicles eventually. And it's a good port because it's kind of an older game, so it doesn't look too bad compared to the arcade because it's such an old game. And the next game I will talk about, which I don't actually have, but I do have the manual for, is Super Mario Brothers 2 in the Land of Subcon, which is interesting, a dream world cursed by Wart. And Wart is the main final boss antagonist of this game, and he hates vegetables. And you pick up grass to throw vegetables at enemies, or you can even jump on a lot of enemies and throw them at other enemies. And the manual describes the character's uniqueness by some characters carry items and they slow down certain characters more than others, and the speed of picking up the items is described with the different characters of Toad, Princess Toadstool, Luigi, and Mario. You can select different those 4 different characters. So that's pretty cool. It gives you a little variety and different techniques, different ways, different attributes to get through the game. And they call the door in that game where you pull up a piece of grass and you get a potion and you throw it down, they call the door that comes from that potion subspace. I thought that was interesting. And I also found out that the stopwatch appears after picking 4 veggies and then a 5th. I don't know if it has to be the big veggies or the small veggies, but I never knew that about the game. So the stopwatch makes enemies stop, so they're not going to attack you and they're vulnerable. And some of the interesting characters, the tweeter is actually a bird. I never knew that. It's kind of just jumping and it's on the ground, so it looked more like an anteater to me. And some of the boss enemies, they're kind of compensating for something according to the manual, which is interesting. Like Mouser, he wears sunglasses and he's pretending not to be a mouse by being very destructive. And Ostro, who is perhaps the first trans woman in the game, who later would go by Birdo, wants to be called Burrita. He thinks he is a girl, and he shoots eggs from his mouth. And the Triclide is an outsider taken in by Wart. And he has 3 times the normal strength of enemies and 3 heads as well. It's a snake. And Wart is the most mischievous of all in the world of dreams, playing with the dream machine, making monsters. So those are just some interesting bits for Mario 2. And I do have the Super Mario Bros. 3 manual as well. And the boss characters in each of the kingdoms or countries are Bowser's kids, except for the last world. He has 7 kids apparently, and 2 of them are named Iggy and Lemmy, who are named after frontmen from maybe a punk band and a metal band. And there's a comic bubble, We Just Love Being Mean. And each of these kids stole royal magic wands to turn the kings into each of these countries or kingdoms into animals. And so yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3 is one of my favorites because of the mini games in it. They're very speedy. They're super fast, and they're kind of luck based, card based. And also the power-up system is one of my favorites that you get from Toad houses. And you also have the Mario Brothers game interwoven into a battle mode for 2-player mode, and you can compete for cards you collect at the end of stages and compete for your turn by getting into a battle. So these are just some things that I just find the mini games to be less intrusive and more interwoven in the game and less of a complete distraction. So that's basically kind of why it's my favorite Mario. And the cheap fish in the game are the thorny fish, and those green monsters who throw spiky balls at you are called Spike, and boos are called Boo Diddley, and the bosses in the mini fortresses are called Boom Booms. And so yeah, and also there's an item that I don't think I've ever encountered called the Anchor, which I believe can stop the boss ships. I don't know how you get this item or if it's actually in the game, but it's in the manual. And next I will talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the vile, ruthless, terrorist bully Shredder trademark. And we got 5 levels in this game with several stages tucked into them. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are not to be confused with the Beatles, but they're called the Fab Four in the manual. And the game is based in New York, and it's kind of shoehorned. They chose pictures of stages, and they call some like the Bronx, they call a level JFK Airport. Kind of amusing. And they call April a hip version of a medieval damsel in distress. See Defender of the Crown in parentheses for an original damsel in distress. I've never played that, but I like how they mention their own game in there. And next I'll talk about Tiny Toons Adventures, which is a great Super Mario Brothers 3 kind of inspired game. And Montana Max is the main antagonist in this, a menace to merriment, and he kidnapped Babs Bunny. And this place takes place in the context of Acme Acres, which shows a map, but you don't really get to control the map. It's just kind of linear, but it's nice to see that in the game. And Montana Max is a typical rich, kind of a son of a gun, a rich dude with an attitude, according to the manual. And you can have Buster, and you get a partner for each level. You can have Plucky Duck, Dizzy Devil, or Furball. They each have their own abilities, kind of like Super Mario Brothers 2. And you could switch characters, kind of like the Turtles game, but different way to do that. And we got Go-Go Bird, and the power meter you can compare to Super Mario Brothers 3. It's kind of a nice visual cue to how quick you're going. That's also in Super Mario Brothers 3, which I didn't mention. And I enjoyed reading this manual. One of the most, the WB, they took liberties and had fun writing this manual. The last one I will talk about is Top Gun. You have a $30 million war machine, F-14, and you're the Navy's hottest fighter jock with hot cup of Java, a squadron of F-14s on the USS Enterprise, and you get the orders from Mr. President, and you have to crumple the orders and eat them, according to the manual, because it's so top secret. And you come off a nuclear carrier, which means it's powered by nuclear energy, not carrying nuclear warheads. I recently learned that. And it has 4 levels, so that's basically all that I found interesting in that manual. No nods to Tom Cruise. And finally, we'll talk about this beer. Yeah, Hefeweizens are amazing. They have a good aftertaste. A little sweet, very grainy. This is just 5%. And we got the Goza mug from my buddy Eric on here. Very grainy and weedy. I don't know how to describe it, but the aftertaste is really good. It almost tastes like a Belgium style in a way too, like a Blue Moon. That's all I have to say. I recommend this beer for sure. I love Hefeweizens. And thank you for watching. All the best. Cheers. Take care.